What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 3 of the Dapper Ape podcast. Today we have some big news for you guys, both in the general areas of cryptocurrency and in NFTs and Web3. So today I'll be bringing you news on a partnership between Coinbase and Primer, MasterCard and PAXOS. The IRS just released a new category of digital assets in a draft. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the denial of a Bitcoin ETF that was proposed. And then finally, I will talk about a country called Madeira that is looking to follow in El Salvador's footsteps in making Bitcoin their cryptocurrency of choice.
Yeah, and I'll be updating you a little bit more on the Web3 and NFT side. We'll be talking about two big rugs that happened this past week. Also, we'll be talking about changes in the crypto job market. So without further ado, let's get started, Mark.
All right, I'll get going right now with Coinbase and Primer. So I think this is really promising. Sorry, I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but I'll just go over it briefly. So Coinbase Commerce and Primer are teaming up. And Primer is this sort of payment system that people can use to accept credit card payments. And what they're doing is allowing people just through an interface to start accepting cryptocurrencies as payment for services protected by Coinbase Commerce. So this is like the first automation platform that'll let people do this for cryptocurrencies. And this is extremely significant because do you know what the percentage of people that say they want to use cryptocurrency to pay for services in the next year?
Not sure.
I'll tell you because it's kind of a random question. But over 40% of people say that they plan to use cryptocurrency to buy something in the next year. So Coinbase and Primer are teaming up to let people do this, and it'll let stores and merchants easily integrate this into their website. So this is like a huge step to seeing cryptocurrencies being accepted as actual payment for items and services. What comes to your mind when you hear that?
I was first wondering if Coinbase is only partnering up with Primer or are they partnering up with other services too? Because I know a lot of people are doing this right now, this cryptocurrency to debit card type of thing. I even see NFT projects take that on, swaps take that on. I just see a lot of crypto companies issuing debit cards. So is that the only partnership Coinbase has going on? Or do you think they're partnering with other people too?
So Coinbase actually has a lot of partnerships going on. What's different about this is it isn't a debit card or anything. Okay. It's so that you can directly spend cryptocurrency on merchants' pages.
Oh, okay. So it's e-payments.
Yeah, it's e-payments, but it's really easy for the merchants to start accepting cryptocurrencies just by, like, right now, how you can integrate credit card payments into your website. Now you'll be able to do cryptocurrencies within the same process.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely convenient. I know not a lot of websites have that now.
I think it's huge. Yeah, basically none, but just Coinbase Commerce is going to bring it together, I think. Then I have sort of a related topic next. Okay, now we got another huge player, even a bigger player actually. MasterCard is forming a partnership with PAXOS. So what this is they're trying to appeal more to the bank side. So we talked about this a little bit last week, how we need financial institutions to get into the game for a lot of people to even consider buying cryptocurrencies or trading them. So what this is going to do is its goal is to allow financial institutions to offer their customers cryptocurrencies through that bank's platform. So what MasterCard's doing is they're sort of providing the security side of it, because that's, what they normally provide. And then the banks can rely on MasterCard to basically ensure that people's assets are kept safe on the cryptocurrency side. And I have another statistic for you. 60% of people say that they would be far more comfortable buying or using cryptocurrency if it was offered directly through their bank. And that's what MasterCard and PAXOS are doing. They're going to let you buy it directly through your bank. So they're just providing this extra layer of security that should make the common person much more trustworthy of crypto. So the Coinbase and Primer and MasterCard and PAXOS thing, Coinbase and Primer is more for like merchants to offer it, and then MasterCard and PAXOS will let banks offer it. So I think this is huge. This might even be bigger than the Coinbase Primer.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any transaction limits when Coinbase is offering it. When you said Paxos is going to offer it with your bank, do you think there's going to be any transaction size limits? Like, can I go buy a car or a house using crypto now?
I'm not sure if that's exactly how it works. That might even be more of a Coinbase Primer thing. So how I understood it is it'll let banks sell you cryptocurrencies directly through the bank's portal. I don't think it's actually a payment system as much as it is like allowing the bank to hold your crypto assets.
So it's similar to what PayPal already does, but just through your bank, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it'll let the big financial institutions step in and provide this to their customers.
I was just thinking, once you have it in your bank account, would you be able to use something like Zelle and then send it to each other? Or is it just like locked in?
I don't think it's locked in, but I think this is definitely the first step to allowing people to spend it straight from their bank.
Because
but right now, I'm not entirely sure.
For PayPal, it's very inconvenient. They say you can buy crypto, but you never really own your crypto. You can't take it out of PayPal. You can't put it on your hardware wallet. You can't take it onto an exchange. They actually hold on to your crypto, and the max you could do is like buy or sell. I don't even think you can send it between friends. That's the thing. So in PayPal, it's just strictly for an investment basis with very, very limited features. So maybe they're trying to release like that and kind of get like...
yeah, it sort of seems like that.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to let people buy it like they would buy stocks, just like directly through their bank, though. So it'd be more trustworthy. But I'm not even sure if you would be able to like spend it like that. I think that's more of the Coinbase Primer situation.
I think, yeah, for sure. If something like that comes out, I think more than them offering that feature, I think it's just the fact that those people that are on the fence about crypto now see that, oh, the banks accepted crypto by having crypto on your same online portfolio, right? So when you go onto your online banking, if crypto is there, that means like if you can't beat them, join them. The banks joined crypto, that means. So I think that'll be a huge bullish thing for crypto.
This is just a super simple process.
Yeah.
Basically, if a bank wants to offer crypto, they tell MasterCard, MasterCard provides them with an API, and then that's it. People can buy crypto through the bank. It's as simple as that. It's just such an easy process, and I just love how they're letting financial institutions jump sort of, I don't know if I would say head first, but more feet first into this industry because people won't be able to, or at least I don't know how much control they'll have over the assets in their bank. But it's still huge institutionally. So there will be, or there's proposed to be, a digital assets checkbox on your 1040. So this is basically when you're filing your personal income tax, there will be, or there's proposed to be, a section that asks, have you worked with digital assets? This includes crypto, NFTs, basically anything that's on the blockchain. So the way they state it is, digital assets are any digital representation of value that are recorded on a cryptographically secured distributed ledger or any similar technology.
So it's all blockchain.
So this will encompass... Yeah. Basically anything like that. It includes crypto, it includes NFTs. If you make money by staking, anything like that, everything that we do in the crypto area will now be recorded on your income tax form. So if you've held anything as like an asset, there will be a part on your 8949 form where you can record all of your capital gains and losses from cryptos just directly through your tax form. But this is just proposed. So this hasn't been accepted by the IRS or anything, but they're hoping to have it in place before tax season.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I think I'm honestly waiting to see what the IRS does with Yuga Labs, because last week we talked about how the IRS is probing Yuga Labs, and one update on that is, it's not a news article we're talking about, it's just a small update I found, is IRS decided that Yuga Labs will never get in trouble for anything they did wrong. So if ApeCoin turns out to be a security, the IRS decided they're not going to make an example out of Yuga Labs. Rather, they're going to work closely with them to basically regulate the rest of the NFT market. So they're not going to get in trouble for anything wrong they did. Honestly, I'm kind of like iffy about this.
I'm because shocked. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It's like, you guys are so big, you're the trendsetters, so we won't punish you for anything. We'll just use you to help us out. To set other regulations.
So honestly,
it's an interesting strategy.
If they declare Yuga Labs and Bored Ape Yacht Club as security, then basically all NFTs become a security. And then, like at least most NFTs become a security. And then if that happens, then our taxes would look a lot different. Because right now, NFTs are taxed as art than if you were getting capital gains tax. So
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, honestly, I want to see what the Yuga Labs SEC situation plays out before I feel like, we know what's going on with taxes for this year.
Yeah, this is just a proposition. I know in the draft they sent out, it was like 110 pages. Not all of it was even on the digital assets thing. So it was just, I have no idea how it's going to go. I think going to be some revisions.
I think the thing is, if you check that box of digital assets, the Biden administration just made the IRS 5 times bigger. I think they're just going to probe you. I think if you check, I've been trading crypto, they're going to look at you heavily. Up and down, left, right.
Just looking at that checkbox, like, should I get my microscope out on your finances?
Yeah. But honestly,
it's still pretty promising.
I would say it's worse to say you don't own any crypto, and then turns out they find out you do. So something like that would be far worse than actually just
Especially
admitting
with how
to it.
broad of a category they've made it. Like, you can't claim, like, oh, I didn't think it was categorized. It's like any
Yep.
blockchain activity is a digital asset. You can't claim ignorance because it's so broad. Before we get too caught up on this topic, now, do you remember last week we were talking about how Bitcoin ETFs would be like the big step? Or what was the way you put it?
Yeah,
What were you
so
saying about Bitcoin ETFs?
I was saying that we need to index Web3 companies. So that indexing just basically means you go out and see what VCs gave what valuation to what companies, and you just take like 20 different companies that got 20 different valuations, and that kind of gives you an average of what Web3 companies are worth. So last week I was saying we need to go, some companies started actually indexing these Web3 companies, and I said that's the first step to create a Web3 ETF.
Okay, so now I have the SEC is being sued by Grayscale Investments. So if you're not familiar, this is owned by the same people that own CoinDesk. So they have a $2 billion, it's a Bitcoin trust right now that's already been out for a while. It's considered a massive success, and they recently filed with the SEC to turn this into an ETF. The SEC said no, and now they're suing them along with a lot of other major industry players. So a lot of people are hopping on this train to help fight the SEC on this Bitcoin ETF situation. So I know Coinbase is on their side. There are also 2 former SEC commissioners. There are a lot of just really big players now supporting Grayscale Investments and this Bitcoin ETF rate. So this was denied in June, and Grayscale's response was, and I quote, "The rejection was an arbitrary, capricious, and discriminatory, like, denial of their ETF." So I think that's very strong wording, and the support that they're getting from these major players is huge. I think they actually have a chance of overturning this rejection by the SEC. I have one more.
Hit it, and then we'll
So,
start.
are you familiar with the Portuguese island of Madeira?
No.
Okay, yeah, it has a population of like 250,000. It's not that big, but their president is saying that they want to follow in El Salvador's footsteps and make Bitcoin one of their official currencies. And they're hoping to do this by like the beginning of next year. I think they said January 3rd. But they basically said it increased El Salvador's GDP, even though we were talking about El Salvador lost a lot of money because they invested that Bitcoin when it was high, and now it's what, like 19,000? But this country decided they're going to follow them anyways. So I just find it really interesting because even though El Salvador lost a lot of money, they still see it as a positive example because it increased their GDP.
Honestly,
But that was my final topic.
yeah, I wonder why El Salvador jumped in when Bitcoin is 65,000. Honestly, now might not be a bad time for that Portuguese island to jump in because Bitcoin's like starting to bottom. Even if we haven't found a bottom yet, we're really starting to approach it. So I think now wouldn't be a bad time to do that, right? Doing the bear market, especially because how much more lower can we go? Like 50% lower? Sure, but not much lower than that because then people will start buying it in huge amounts. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think buying it at 65,000, big yell on El Salvador's part. I would have told them not to do that even. They don't even need a real economic advisor. They just need literally any kid off the street who's traded crypto before, and they would tell them maybe not a good idea to buy Bitcoin at its top.
Maybe wait a little bit. Yeah. I know even like Elon Musk bought a ton of Bitcoin with, I think, through Tesla.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
he
yeah.
also sold at a loss.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
the thing is, when
they weren't
Elon Musk
making
makes
the
a
best
loss,
decisions
it's a
on where to
tax
buy.
deduction. When they make a loss,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
fucked. It's a country.
What are you gonna do?
Alright, so
Well, I'm
now
just excited because there's a lot of news in the U.S. and worldwide. Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
So now let's move on to news in more NFTs and Web3. So I'm gonna hit 5 news topics real quick. The first 2 being rugs. So let's talk about the biggest rug first. So Utes Yacht Club rugged this past week for $2.5 million. So now, if you guys don't know, Utes is the number 1 collection on Solana. DGod started Utes. And then, of course, Bored Ape Yacht Club is Bored Ape Yacht, number 1 collection on Earth for NFTs. And this guy just took, these are just random guys on the internet. They just took the name and had to play on words. 0 marketing budget, 0 time invested. Most people that even put money in knew it was going to be a rug pull. And boom, within a week, raised 2.5 million, got out. No socials, no website, no staking, no nothing.
Wow. I guess it shows the power of the name of a crypto project.
Yep.
Even though it's completely unrelated to Bored Ape Yacht Club, and Utes. It's just people were like, they heard the name, they're like, I know this is a rug, but I'll take my chances.
I'm just
I wonder how
surprised.
many of those people actually got out in time.
I'm surprised that collections of 5,000 are still selling in the bear market. Like 5,000
Yeah.
people are still willing to buy an NFT that they don't know who the founder is, they don't know anything about. That's honestly surprising.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by that too.
This kind of also brings me to the next topic, which is even more interesting. So like a rug in like Solana, oh yeah, happens every day. But a rug by like an institution, that almost never happens. So earlier this year, during the peak of the bull market, CNN actually launched an NFT marketplace. So along with the NFT marketplace, they also started selling NFTs of news highlights. So like they sold like 9/11, announcing that as a news clip. And they sold that as an NFT for like hundreds of thousands. And they started selling all these big events in history, and CNN announcing that news as an NFT. And what happened is they raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they kept on going. They kept on making more NFTs, kept on selling. And recently they came out and said, because of the bear market, they're just going to rug the entire project. The entire project is not going to get any more funding. They're not going to have any more, like, anyone working behind it, and they have no plans to resurrect it. So now the entire community is mad because CNN has like a whole mirage of lawyers that'll defend them from ever being a real rug. And it just looks like a business failed, right? But they failed at a very convenient time when there's no more money to be made. So that's why people are calling this a rug, because it's not really a failure if you just made a bunch of money all year. Similar to how like
Just
DAWs
make a ton of money and dip.
Yeah. Similar to how DAWs and other projects are still open, the idea is once you raise money, you're supposed to use that money to continue and build the ecosystem. So that's what they're clearly not doing. And CNN definitely has way more money than they raise, like just in their regular company funds. So there's no reason that they should be rugging, honestly. But I'm just shocked that a company like CNN would ever do that. What do you think?
I'm completely astonished. They definitely have the resources to keep it up just from what they raised through selling these NFTs. So the fact that they just decide to say, oh, we don't think this will continue to be that profitable, like, what do you mean? You already raised millions. But they have so many lawyers that no one can touch them.
Yep.
So, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, honestly, the only place you can see this being called a rug is anywhere except conventional media. So all the NFT news channels are calling it a rug, but all the regular news channels are not even reporting this because it's CNN. It's them and their friends. They're buddies with everybody, so no one's gonna talk shit, right? So that brings us to another topic. It has nothing to do with rug pulls. We're gonna move on to talking about the crypto job market and how it's been doing. So over the past 6 months, we've seen several big name CEOs drop out of the ecosystem. They literally leave crypto and start working at regular companies. And one other person to join this list is the CFO and co-founder Brian Roberts of OpenSea, the #1 NFT marketplace on earth. So the co-founder and CFO of the #1 NFT marketplace on earth just resigned his job and decided to work in like a regular conventional market sector. So he just left crypto. He said he's still bullish that crypto will come back, but for his career, he thinks that it's hindering his career to stay in crypto during the bear market. So what do you think about that?
That's kind of huge, honestly, especially being the co-founder of OpenSea. The fact that he thinks it is necessary for his career to step down, it shows that I think he might be seeing that it's going to be bearish for a long time. Because if you think we're only going to be in a bearish cycle for like, I don't know, like 2 months, there's no benefit to resigning from a place like OpenSea. But now I'm wondering how long he thinks this cycle will be if he thinks it's necessary for his career to move completely out of the space.
Most people are just predicting it'll be till 2025. So that's a good 2 years, right? So honestly, if you're at a job, 2 years is a lot. Because I know my friends that graduate out of college, they start out at 60 grand. Second year, they're making 75 grand. And by the third year, they're making 80, close to 90. So the thing is, every year, at least for the first few years, I know you can have huge pay jumps. So like missing out 2 years worth of pay jumps is huge. Because they're definitely not giving pay increments during the crypto bear market. So to join this list of CEOs dropping out or co-founders dropping out is Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy, Michael Morrow of Genesis, Sam Trabucco of Alameda Research, Let's see who else. Oh yeah, we talked about Celsius and how the CEOs took over 40 million before bouncing. Then we have Brett Harrison of FTX. So honestly, all these co-founders dropping, I think all these co-founders or C-level executives dropping, I think really just shows that we're definitely in a bear market and we're probably going to stay there for a while.
Indisputably, if the huge players like that are dropping out, they definitely see something coming. It shows, to me, I think they think it's going to get worse than it already is now.
They might also just see nothing coming, you know?
Yeah, they just think it's just going to go stagnant for a while. I don't know about that. I'm just hoping it doesn't get worse, but we'll see how that goes.
So staying on this topic of like the crypto job markets, another person to drop off, not quite a co-founder or CFO or CEO or C-level executive, but someone who's really important is the DeGods artist, the DeGods/Ute lead artist who made all the DeGods art and all the Utes art that was supposed to come out at the end of this month. He just quit before the work is completed. No one knows why. He says, I'm just going to work on things that motivate him, and he didn't really like that 9-to-5 schedule of only making DeGods content or only making Utes content. So he said it's limiting his creative expression, and that's the reason he gave publicly. But we don't know what the real reason is. Yesterday, Frank DeGods also tweeted out that now, because the artist left, they don't. So the Utes collection, they minted out. They're trading around 120 sold floor price. But the thing is, none of the art is revealed. Every single NFT looks like a little ball with colors floating inside it. So they're still waiting on the artist to finish the art. So now that the artist left, they're expecting to take at least an additional month, if not an additional 2 months. And they haven't even disclosed an official release date.
I'm wondering the real reason the artist left, because I have to imagine he was getting paid pretty well. I don't think he was struggling for money while designing all of the DeGods and Utes. So I'm wondering what the real reason is.
The only reason that's given all over the internet is he keeps on saying that, oh yeah, I completely support DeGods team, I completely support everybody. I'm leaving with like a good name, like the team is great, everybody's great, but personally I'm not able to express myself artistically. That's what he says. He says like making NFTs is very boring, it's mundane, it's repetitive, and he says he doesn't see like, I don't know, I guess he's not seeing it's different strokes for different folks, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I could definitely see after designing that many how it would get a little boring. Okay, yeah, that does make a little more sense why you would decide to leave then. I can see it.
So this brings us to the last and final news topic I have for you guys today, and that is Azuki, which is a Japanese-based anime NFT, actually created a new standard for Ethereum NFTs. So what we know Ethereum NFTs as is ERC 721, but Azuki and Azuki's dev just invented ERC 5791. And the cool part is if the Ethereum Foundation actually acknowledged this as an actual advancement to the Ethereum blockchain. So it's actually a completely different type of smart contract they created, and it's only used for physical goods. So the cool part about this ERC 5791 smart contract is it actually doesn't get activated until that whatever product you bought is shipped to your house and it arrives at your house. So let's say and there's a little tag on the product that you have to scan, and it also has to match your wallet, your verified wallet. So that means if you got a package and it got stolen off your front doorstep, that's not the one that the NFT is tied to. So they can just send you another one, and the NFT only gets activated once you yourself scan with your phone the product that arrives in the mail. Then that links the smart contract with the physical product, and then you can trade the physical product just by using the NFT. So if you want to sell that piece of merchandise, you can just sell it online and then have it shipped. So
that's incredible.
It's a completely new standard because it prevents physical theft of items that are tied to NFTs.
I love it. I think that's so cool how that's being innovated already, and just like an anime NFT just came out and provided this big of an improvement to the Ethereum NFTs. I think that's awesome.
I think the biggest thing that makes this cool is the Ethereum Foundation came out acknowledging like, wow, you guys did huge advancements that actually improved the entire blockchain ecosystem for Ethereum. So they actually built on top of Ethereum to create a new standard of smart contracts that never before seen. So honestly, I think this is like because this is what Ethereum should be doing, right? So they're honestly like building on top of Ethereum and doing Ethereum's work as an NFT project. Like that's not even part of their roadmap. They just made this to sell merchandise on their website. That's the only reason they made this. So honestly, I think their dev is
really
a genius.
Cool. He's clearly doing something right. I'll give him that.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's been episode 3 of the Dapper Ape podcast. We'll see you guys next week when we have more news on NFTs, crypto, and Web3. See you guys next time.